Hi everyone! If you're here on my YouTube, you've probably seen a lot of my shorts content. That's typically what I create and share here on YouTube, which is usually stuff relating to me crafting or me drawing. But the other side of things that I do from a content creation perspective is I live stream myself playing video games while I'm on Twitch. So I am a charity streamer. I fundraise pretty much year round for my local children's hospital, and all of my streams that I do on Twitch are all relating to some charity or something else. So if you don't know me already, then hi, I'm Dancing Retzko. I really appreciate you being here on my channel. As I mentioned, I typically live stream, so creating edited content for YouTube is not really within my typical skill set or my skill foray. So please be kind, and feedback and advice is always welcome, but this is a new adventure for me to try out right now. For this video, I'm going to be doing the playtest of Critter Cove, and just a quick disclaimer, I did receive a copy of this key for free through Keymailer. So anyway, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Check out some of my other video contents, my shorts. I do publish those pretty regularly. Hopefully I'll eventually get better at this video editing thing, but I thought it would be nice to take that live stream, since it was several hours long, and kind of condense it down so we can see what this playtest is. All in all, I can tell you, just quick spoiler, I really adore this game. I'm super excited for the full version of this game to come out in the future. But anyway, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy watching this edited content from my original live stream. If you want to watch any future live streams, you can watch that at twitch.tv/dancingretzko. All right, here we go. Okay, so to start off with, Critter Cove is a cozy scrapyard-like life kind of sim. So other games that are similar to this, there's also a lot of customization. So this is the character that I have created, which is Captain Reds. And as we progress through the storyline, so I took about 6 hours worth of live stream, and I've condensed it down into about a 10-minute video. So if there's anything in particular that you're interested in seeing, any specific quests, feel free to ask about that in the comments, and I will happily share that. But I felt like this would be easier to do, kind of like or more interesting to see a 10-minute synopsis rather than a full 6-hour playthrough. I think that the game, if you weren't live streaming, I think you could probably play it through in about 4, maybe 5 hours, rather than the 6 hours that it took me, just because I did pause quite often to kind of talk with my chat, talk with people that were stopping in. So that being said, we meet this fellow named Anchor, who kind of educates us on where we need to go throughout our town, and kind of our responsibility is to rebuild this town and rebuild this area. We're given a journal, and we first meet a person named Renard. Renard is kind of like a real estate agent, I guess, and he's the one that invited us here in the first place. He's the one that tasked us with rebuilding this town. We'll meet him in just a second here. You can kind of see throughout this area, like, this is what that town looks like. Our friend Anchor here owns a shop here at the pier. He lets us know that we can go to a bulletin board every so often, go get some notices, and go get some jobs. I imagine this is kind of like the commissions that we see in games like Stardew Valley or My Time at Sandrock. Currently in the playtest, there weren't any commissions, but I'm imagining that that's what this will be like eventually. So as I mentioned earlier, this is Renard. Renard is the one who invited us here. He lets us know how we can get our own house. We can have any pick of houses. This is the house that I opted to get. There's these bins that are outside, and that's where we put the materials that we need to build our house, and it lets you know exactly how many of each material it is that you need to have. There's also these handy chests that come with your house, and that are you can actually move them around. You can put one at the workshop and one at your house, and the cool thing is when you put stuff into one, you can basically access it at any location, so you don't have to worry about managing your inventory and managing where your chests are. So Renard had told us that there were 2 other people who had recently arrived to the island at the same time as us. So there's this person named Pokey, who is, for lack of a better word, very prickly, a very pokey person, kind of, like a little bit of a cactus. Seems like they fit in well with their namesake. And then the other person that we kind of have is a different character who's more like feline. Their name is Sammy. They're very sweet. They're very cheerful. They always have a giant big smile. But they also are always trying to sell us stuff. So they always seem to be hustling or a little bit. So this is Sammy. Very different personalities. They both start off living on the beach in tents. And so our responsibility is to help them to rebuild their houses and to, the same way that we did with ours. So we fix up our house, we fix up their house. Again, our job really is to clean up this island and to rebuild it and to incentivize people to come. At one point, we have a building inspector, an island inspector who comes out and they let us know what the responsibilities are for being able to reach, they basically have like island rankings. So we're trying to get to the Critter Cove island ranking of 1. And that is what will bring new people to our island. So once we've rebuilt our house, Renard gives us a housewarming gift, and then he asks us to go out and find this fellow named Copperbottom. So Copperbottom is the island's engineer. He's a robot. He's really adorable. He has a tendency to go play near the water to go look for resources. And so we have to use this oil can that we're given by Renard to fix him up and to help him to be able to assist us. So he runs the workshop, and then also when we construct buildings and shops, he's the one that goes out and actually does all of that construction. So we gather the materials, we put the materials in there, and Copperbottom is the one that actually does all of the heavy lifting for us. Copperbottom also teaches us how to make some tools like wrenches, axes, shovels. And so those are the tools that we use to go out and gather material. Most of this game is spent going around gathering materials and then building and crafting. So very similar to any other kind of cozy building game that you may have experienced before. Our lovely friend Sammy, who really cares about us, also let us know that we were looking a little bit haggard and that we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves in addition to taking care of everyone else. So Sammy teaches us how to cook recipes, because there is an energy bar. You can actually see up in the upper left corner that I am out of energy. So where that lightning bolt is, you can see that I no longer have any energy and I can't pick up any materials because I'm exhausted. So we can take naps, we can take short naps or long naps, or we can eat food. And luckily the ingredients to make food we can find pretty much on anywhere around the island. It seems like we're vegetarians, so there's berries all throughout the island that we can go and, collect materials from. There is a berry called a drumstick berry, which basically looks like a chicken drumstick. So I don't know, maybe we're vegetarians, maybe we're not really sure on that front. At one point we also find a treasure map and we're able to go out to other islands. And so far there's only 3 islands that are unlocked in the playtest. But we go out, we go explore other islands. We actually meet other islanders. We bring them back. I'll show you that in a little bit. Back with the workshop, Copperbottom teaches us how to build a whole variety of different pieces of equipment. Like we make a stove, we make a furnace, we make a cutter, we make a fabricator. So we're going to use those things to be able to help build new buildings and to repair new things. So our lovely friend Copperbottom is the one that really teaches us how to do that. After this point, most of the game is just spent exploring and gathering materials. We dive down underwater and we got to watch our oxygen. You can see my blue bar there is kind of depleting as my oxygen is disappearing. One thing that I would say in this game that I highly recommend is when you have quests and the quests are asking for things, check your storage and make sure that you haven't already picked that up at some point while you were exploring. Because that was definitely a goof that I kept doing, is I would put stuff in my storage and then not realize that I'd had it, and I'd have to go out and look for it again. And I wasted a lot of time doing that, truth be told. So that is kind of my one recommendation that I would have for you as you are playing this game. So anyway, at one point Anchor builds us a boat. It's basically a bathtub that floats, but we take our boat and we go explore other islands, which is really nice because that way we don't have to go and float. The mechanics of actually being underwater and boating are absolutely gorgeous. Easily my favorite part of the game. So as I mentioned earlier, on these islands, we meet this other person. His name is Boots. He's honestly not a very nice person. He's kind of rude to me, even though he's asking me for my help. But I don't know, maybe on the other islands, we will meet nicer people. Who knows? But he doesn't get a job. We bring him back. We rebuild some of our shops. So there's 2 shops. There's a food shop, like a diner, and also a clothing shop. We rebuild those shops, and those are kind of the last tasks that we have before the inspector comes back and lets us know that we have kind of finished through the playtest. And the inspector comes over and lets us know, you know, what the next steps are in terms of the full game. So here's me talking to Bernard as we learn how to get those shops up and running. And up very next will be the inspector as he lets us know what we have completed and what comes next. Oh, hey, Inspector. Greeting, Rets. I'm here for another inspection to ensure everything is up to standards. Everything appears to be in order. Congratulations are in order. You've successfully completed all the necessary tasks to advance Critter Cove to rank 1. In the full game, there are more buildings to restore, critters to meet, and of course the entire world and ocean to explore. All right, so I just wanted to pop in here and say thank you so much for watching this edit. If you enjoy the game, make sure you wishlist it on Steam.